What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Dude Hine Show. Today is August 15th, 2021. Might be the 14th, depending where you're living at. This is going to be an episode recapping the Bengals and Buccaneers game. This was week 2 of preseason. I'm going to be talking about all things, of this game between Tampa Bay and Cincinnati. So excited that Bengals football is finally back. There's so much to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and get started here. They're going to be recapping the game, kind of go about the scoring summary, stuff like that, winners and losers, talking about some of the rookie debuts like Jamar Chase, Jackson Carman, some of our other draft picks as well. So, kind of start off here, the first score was a rushing touchdown by, Keyshawn Vaughn, the running back of Tampa Bay. And, Tampa Bay, despite starting other starters like Tom Brady, the majority of them only played one series. Brady was 1 of 2 for 9 yards. So he only played one drive. So that was really nice of our defense to, not let up a touchdown the opening drive. Having Brady play against some of these guys like who are undrafted free agents for us was great for our defense, not be able to give up a point when Brady was on the field. That was the only drive he played. And a rushing touchdown by Keyshawn Vaughn was the first scoring possession of the game. If Hodge plays like he did today, he should definitely make the roster. Keyshawn Vaughn had a rushing touchdown, and it was a very, very, very interesting play call for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going up for kind of a trick play on a 2-point conversion. They go back to a normal kicking stance, and they kick the extra point at the 2-yard line. Obviously, you're not allowed to kick at the 2-yard line anymore. So instead of, redoing that kick, they actually just took the extra point away. It was very, very interesting. And it was, I had no idea what was going on. Something we really haven't seen, since the, new rule change. You can't kick at the 2-yard line and everything like that. And so that made it 6-0 Tampa Bay. And the Bengals' first score was by rookie running back from Michigan, Chris Evans, on a 1-yard rushing touchdown. Austin Seibert, the kicking battle between Seibert and Evan McPherson, the rookie kicker from Florida. Seibert started it off with the extra points and gave the Bengals a 7-6 lead. And the first score of the second half, speaking of McPherson, was a field goal for 40 yards. Made it looked very, very easy in him. Looked like he could have had 5 or 10 more yards added to it. We actually had another field goal, and this one was by Austin Seibert for a 24-yard field goal and another field goal. So we had 3 field goals in the third quarter. 2 by McPherson and 1 by Austin Seibert. The final one for McPherson was a 31-yarder. And in the fourth quarter, it got really, really, really interesting. Let's see. There was an interception made by third-string quarterback, the Bengals quarterback Kyle Shermer. It was returned for a touchdown, and they made the 2-point conversion that made it 16-14. And it looked like we actually had a chance of blowing this game, but it did not happen. We had a field goal at the very end by Austin Seibert and a 38-yard field goal. We ended up winning the game 19-14. Preseason does not matter with wins or losses. Does not matter, who says it. They do not matter at all. But it is nice to see, we won against a quality team, and especially a team who ended up winning the Super Bowl last year and is returning all their starters from last year as well. And I thought our defense played really well, considering our defense played great when Tampa Bay's first-team offense was in. And, some of the players, in my opinion, that really just stole the show, let's see here. Brian already kind of mentioned it, Darius Hodge. He was one who was just absolutely phenomenal. When I start talking about rookies first, though, let's see here. Rookies, obviously you can start off talking about Jamar Chase. Chase had 1 reception for, I believe, 16 yards. It was his only target of the game. Chase ended up playing 1 drive. You look at Boyd and Higgins, some of our, easily our most experienced receivers. Boyd had 1 catch for 15 on 2 targets. Higgins had 1 catch on 1 target for 11 yards as well. And to me, it's very interesting. Some of these rookie debuts like Chase And then you look at a guy like Jackson Carman. It was announced several days ago that Michael Jordan was first in the depth chart at guard, and lots of Bengal fans were not happy about it. And Carman did not end up starting the game. And his first play, he was called for a holding penalty, and it looked like it was going to be a long day for Jackson Carman. But really, take away that penalty by Jackson Carman on his very first play. He actually played pretty decent. I was kind of surprised how good he played for the most part. And then you look at some of later round picks, like Deontay Smith, the offense tackle from East Carolina, our 4th round pick selection. He played very nice. At some of our other guys as well. Joseph Osai, he played great. He had 2 quarterback hits and a sack. He did not play a whole ton, but when he played, he was phenomenal. Some of our other late round guys were okay as well. But to me, you really look at, Darius Hyde just says here he had 1.5 sacks. He did not have 1.5 sacks. He at least, in my opinion, watching the game, I thought he had at least 2.5. It says he had 5 quarterback hits, which is absolutely insane, especially for a undrafted rookie free agent, an edge guy coming out of Marshall. I thought he played absolutely phenomenal. I definitely feel like he was one of the best players out there today. Also, Cam Sample, the rookie from Tulane, he had a sack as well. I was very, very impressed with their defense. Like I was saying, we played phenomenal defense the entire game. We ended up having 4 sacks. We gave up 14 points to the Buccaneers, but 6 of that was on an interception return for a touchdown, and 2 points were for a 2-point conversion. So take that away. We only gave up 6 points against a very quality offense in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And even look at Hodge is super, super underrated. He was coming out of Marshall, undrafted free agent and stuff. And playing against Tampa Bay, their offense, you can take Brady away and some of these other guys, they still have a pretty nice team. When Giovanni Bernard's your 2nd string or 3rd string running back, that kind of shows you how much talent Tampa Bay has on offense. And the fact that we were able to just manage to give up 6 points against them, to me, is just very, very impressive. And in my opinion, looking at some of offense and defense, I feel like there was more winners on defense than offense. There were certainly a couple of players, in my opinion, who were winners on offense. One, I would say, was Chris Evans, the rookie running back from Michigan. He had 12 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown. And that's very, very deceiving, because if you just look at that, look at that stat, only 2.1 average, that's not really good at all. But there were a couple of carries where he had about a loss of 4 or 5, just because the offensive line just really screwed up on those plays, because you're having these 3rd string offensive linemen come in and not really having much play experience, and having a bad play, and all of a sudden Chris Evans, let's say he's averaging 4 yards carry, drops to 3. Take away those plays, Chris Evans would probably be averaging probably 3.5 to 4 yards a carry. I thought Jaquiz Patrick played it right. At first, he wasn't really playing good. He had 15 carries for 71 yards, but he really got it going in the 4th quarter. Peter Ryan had 3 carries for 5 yards. Mixon had a carry for 3 yards. Honestly, in my opinion, I know Mixon only had 1 carry. I still think that's too much. I don't even think they should have played Mixon. You don't want to take a chance of getting one of your best players hurt in a meaningless game. And also, Chris Evans had a decent amount of rushing yards, and he also had over 30 receiving yards as well. I thought Trenton Irwin played great. The wide receiver who's been on the practice squad for the past couple of years. He had 3 receptions for 35 yards, had a couple of tackles on special teams as well. And like I said, I thought Carman played good for the most part. And the one thing I will say about the offense I did not like at all was just the lack of sloppy play at times, especially I would say towards pretty much the first quarter. We had a couple of fumbles there, like I mentioned. Kyle Shermer had that had that pick in the fourth quarter. But, we were at times we played sloppy, but for the most part, we played all right. And on defense, I would say Kevon Frazier and Hodge would probably be some of the winners. Hodge played phenomenal, like I already kind of mentioned. And Kevon Frazier, we signed him. He was a part of Dallas last season. He was actually a very, very, very underrated signing. He will probably, in my opinion, as of right now, end up making the team. And I thought he played phenomenal. Travion Henderson, we saw him a couple years ago just break out in preseason. And unfortunately, he got hurt and was out for the remainder of the year. But he played really nice as well. I mean, for the most part, I wouldn't even say there was anybody who really played bad on defense. I thought for the most part, everybody just played really great. I was very, very impressed with their defense. In training camp, people tend to overreact at times. People talk about our defense is great one day and our defense is bad one day. But I was very surprised because, there's lots of overhype with training camp. Especially the past couple of days, we've heard our defense has been good. But then you play this good, you have 4 sacks, and you give up just 6 points to the Buccaneers. I know it's only preseason, and I know you're playing against, third-string guys. But to me, I still think that's very, very impressive. Considering all of the main guys who had found a lot of success were rookies or young guys. I mean, Darius Hodge is a rookie. Joseph Osai is a rookie. Travion Henderson, he's been in the league for 2 or 3 years, but to say he's had much regular season experience, I mean, he's not really had much regular season experience at all. Cam Sample, he's another rookie who, this is the first ever NFL game, and I thought he played great as well. And to me, like I was saying, Frazier and Hodge are winners on defense. And, like I mentioned, I don't think there's any really losers on defense. On offense, it's kind of a different story. Brandon Allen was inconsistent. Wasn't horrible, wasn't great. I would say he was about average. And then you look at Kyle Shermer, who, in my opinion, looking at the stats, this is one of those things. If we just look at stats, if you actually watch the game, they're completely different. He was 12-19, 108, and a pick. He was just very, very, very inconsistent. He had that pick 6. He honestly probably could have had another pick or two. Some of his throws were very, very, very questionable. Did not really like, the play decisions by him. Did not think he played well at all. I will say, despite for the most part everybody playing great, I will say that if we may have to be looking for a third-string quarterback, and I know that might be a little bit too early, but you can never have too many good quarterbacks in the NFL. But I did not think Shermer played good, and I was going to have Jaquiz Patrick as a loser, heading into the fourth quarter, But in that fourth quarter, like I mentioned, he really stepped it up, and I thought he played absolutely phenomenal. And, let's see here. To me, Chase, like I mentioned, had 1 reception. Trent Irwin, he was great as well. But let's see. Mike Thomas, to me, was very questionable. He was very inconsistent. He had a really nice 22-yard reception, but he also had a really, really bad fumble. I think it'll be interesting to see now where Mike Thomas lands on the depth chart. Maybe it's not a guarantee he makes the team. I would still say Mike Thomas makes the team, but Trent Irwin really helped his case to make the 53-man roster. Who knows? He still might be in the practice squad. And somebody else who on offense, lots of people were excited about was Thaddeus Moss. He had 2 targets and 1 catch for 14 yards. I thought his yards to the catch was actually kind of surprising. Did not expect him to have that many yards after the catch, though. Thought he played well as well. Overall, the offense played great aside from Kyle Shermer. And, the turnovers at the beginning was a concern, but we really got it under control as we continued to play and everything. And like I was saying, I was just very, very, very impressed with the defense as well. Kind of looking, for instance, with our defense, Kyle Trask was 4-15 for 35 yards. we made him look like a little league, like a football player. Like it was amazing how bad we made Kyle Trask look. Kyle Trask was a Heisman candidate last season, and he only had 4 completions. His completion percentage was around 30, and honestly, we could have picked him off maybe once or twice. And I was just very impressed with the defense, giving up 6 points against Tampa Bay. Very, very great by our defense. Cannot wait for next week's game Friday. We had to take on Washington. That's going to be an awesome game. They have a great defense. Their offense, they have some nice offensive players. We have some nice offensive players as well. Cannot wait for it. Very happy we ended up with a win here. This will pretty much kind of about do it. Just kind of make a short video, kind of making a quick recap of the game. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I would really, really appreciate it. So overall, I've been really, really happy the Bengals won. Hopefully, we can get the second win next week against Washington. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hunt.